is Charlie from Charlie Doesn't World of Adventures, and I'm so glad to welcome you back again to a very serious read along. It's been a long while, but I'm finally back doing one of these. And today's book, if you guys don't remember, which I won't blame you because it's been like over 3 months since the last one, is on Tank Engine Thomas again. Really excited to dive into this book, so let's go and do that. Dear friend, and here is news from Thomas's branch line. It is clearly no ordinary line, and life on it is far from dull. Thomas asked me to say, if you are ever in the region, you must be sure to visit him and travel on the line. They will have never seen anything like it, he says proudly. I know I haven't, the author. Thomas and the Guard. Thomas the Tank Engine is very proud of his function. He thinks it is the most important part of the whole railway. He has 2 coaches. They are old and need new paint, but he loves them very much. He calls them Annie and Clarabelle. Annie can only take passengers, but Clarabelle can take passengers, luggage, and the guard. As they run backwards and forwards along the line, Thomas sings them a little song, and Annie and Clarabelle sing too. When Thomas starts from a station, he sings, "Oh, come along, we're rather late. Oh, come along, we're rather late." And the coaches sing, we're coming along. And they don't mind what Thomas says to them, because as they know he is trying to please the Fat Controller, and they know too that if Thomas is cross, he is not cross with them. He is cross with the engines on the main line, and who have made him late. One day, they had to wait for Henry's train. It was late. Thomas was getting crosser and crosser. How can I run on my line properly if Henry's always late? He doesn't realise that the Fat Controller depends on me. And he whistled impatiently. At last Henry came. "Where have you been, Lazybones?" asked Thomas crossly. "Oh dear, my system is out of order and no one understands my case. You don't know what I suffer," moaned Henry. "Rubbish," said Thomas. You're too fat. You need exercise." Lots of people with piles of luggage got out of Henry's train, and they all climbed into Annie and Clarabelle. Thomas had to wait till they were ready. At last, the guard blew his whistle, and Thomas started at once. The guard turned round and jumped into his van and tripped over an old lady's umbrella and fell flat on his face. By the time he had picked himself up, Thomas and Annie and Clarabelle were steaming out of the station. Come along, puffed Thomas. But Clarabelle didn't want to come along. "I've lost I've lost my nice guard." Archie sobbed. Annie tried to tell Thomas, we haven't a guard. But he was hungry and wouldn't listen. Oh, come along, he puffed impatiently. Annie and Clarabelle tried to put on their brakes, but they couldn't without the guard. Where is our guard? They cried. Thomas didn't stop till they came to a signal. "Bother that signal," said Thomas. "What's the matter?" "I don't know," said the driver. "The guard will tell us in a minute." They waited and waited, but the guard didn't come. "Peep, peep, peep, peep. Where is the guard?" whistled Thomas. "We left him behind," sobbed Annie and Clarabelle together. The driver, the fireman, and the passengers looked, and there was the guard, running as fast as he could along the line, armed with his flat axe in one hand and his whistle in the other. Everybody cheered him. He was very hot, so he sat down and had a drink and told them all about it. I'm very sorry, Mr. Guard, said Thomas. It wasn't your fault, Thomas. It was the old lady's umbrella. Look, the signal's down. Let's make up for lost time. Annie and Clarabel were so pleased to have their guard again that they sang as fast as you like to Thomas. All the way eight, and they reached the end of the line quicker than ever before. Thomas goes fishing. Thomas's branch line had a station by the river, but as he rambled over the bridge, he would see people fishing. Sometimes they stood quietly by their lines, and sometimes they were actually jacking fish out of the water. Thomas often wanted to stay and watch, but his driver said no. What would the fat controller say? If we were late, Thomas thought it would be lovely to stop up by the river. I should like to go fishing, he said to Mr. Elf longingly. Every time he met another engine, he would say, I want to fish. They all answered, engines don't go fishing. Silly stick in the mud, as he would snort impatiently. Thomas generally had to take water at the station by the river. One day he stopped as usual, and his fireman put the pipe from the water tap were in his tank. Then he turned and the tap but it was out of order and no water came up. Bother, said Thomas, I am thirsty. Never mind, said his driver. We'll get some water from the river. They found a bucket and some rope and went to the bridge. Then the driver let the bucket down onto the water. The bucket was old and had 5 holes. So they had to fill it, pull it, let up, and empty it into Thomas's tank as quickly as they could. There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza, sang the fireman. Never mind about Liza, said the driver. But you empty that bucket before you spill all the water over me. They finished at last. That's good, puffed Thomas as he settled, and Annie and Clara ran happily. They puffed along the valley, and were in the tunnel when Thomas began to feel a pain in his boiler, while steam hissed from his safety valve in an alarming way. That's too much steam, said the driver, and his fireman opened the tap in the feed pipe to let more water into the boiler, but none came. Oh dear, groaned Thomas, I'm going to burst. They dampened down on his fire and struggled on. I've got such a pain, Thomas hissed. Just at the last station, they stopped, uncoupled Annie and Clara, and ran Thomas, who was still hissing fit to burst, out on the siding, right out of the way. Then, while the guard telephoned for an engine inspector and the iron was putting out the fire, the driver wrote notices in large letters with it. He hung on Thomas in front and behind her. Danger, keep away. Soon, the inspector and the fat controller arrived. Cheer up, Thomas, they said, and we'll soon put you right. The driver told them what had happened. So, the feed pipe is blocked, said the inspector. So I'll just look in the tanks. He climbed up and peered it. Then he came down. Excuse me, sir, he said to the fat controller. Please look in the tank and tell me what you see. Certainly, Inspector. He climbed up, looked in, and nearly fell off in surprise. Inspector, he whispered, can you see fish? Gracious goodness me, said the fat controller. How does the fish get there, driver? Thomas's driver scratched his head. We must have fished them from the river. and he told them about the bucket. The Fat Controller laughed. Well, Thomas, so you and your driver have been fishing, but fish don't suit you, and we must get them out. So the driver and the fireman fetched rods and nets, and they all took turns out of fishing in Thomas's tank. Well, the Fat Controller told them how to do it. When they had caught all the fish, the station master gave them some potatoes. The driver either borrowed a frying pan, and while the fireman made the fire beside the line, and did the cooking. Then they all had a lovely picnic supper of fish and chips. That was good, said the Fat Controller, as he finished his share. But fish don't suit you, Thomas, so you mustn't do it again. No, I won't, sir, said Thomas sadly. Engines don't go fishing. It's too uncomfortable. Thomas Terrence on the snow. Autumn was changing the leaves from green to brown. The fields were changing too, from yellow stubble to brown earth. As Thomas puffed along, he had the chug of a tractor at work. One day, they stopped for a signal. No, he saw the tractor close by. Hello, said the tractor. I'm Terrence. I'm ploughing. I'm Thomas. I'm pulling a train. What ugly wheels you got? They're not ugly. They're caterpillars, said Terrence. I can go anywhere. I don't need rails. I don't want to go anywhere, said Thomas huffily. I like my rails, thank you. Thomas often saw Terrence working, but thought he would. Though he whistled, Terrence never answered. Winter came, and with it dark, heavy clouds full of snow. I don't like it, said Thomas's driver. A heavy fall is coming. I hope it doesn't stop us. Pooh, said Thomas, seeing the snow melt out on the rails. Your soft stuff, nothing to it. And he puffed on. I'm feeling cold but confident. They finished that journey safely, but the country was covered, and the rails were too dark lines standing out in the white snow. You'll need your snowplow for the next journey, Thomas, said his driver. Pooh, snow is silly soft stuff. It won't stop me. Hey, listen to me, his driver said. We are going to fix this extra snowplow on, and I want no nonsense, please. The snowplow was heavy and uncomfortable, and made Thomas cross. He shook it and banged it, and when they got back, it was so damaged that his driver had to take it off. You're a very naughty engine, said his driver, but as he sent at the shed almost that night. Next morning, both driver and fireman came early and worked hard to mend the snowplow, but they couldn't make it fit properly. It was time for the first train. Thomas was pleased. I shan't have to wear it. He puffed to Annie and Clara. I hope it's all right. They whispered anxiously to each other. The driver was anxious too. It's not bad here, he said to the fireman, but it's sure to be deep in the valley. It was snowing again when Thomas started, but the rails were not covered. Silly soft stuff. Buffy puffed. I didn't need that stupid old thing yesterday. I shan't today. Snow can't stop me. And he rushed into the tunnel, thinking how clever he was. At the end, he saw a heap of snow fallen from on the sides of the cutting. Silly old snow, said Thomas, and charged it. Cinders and ashes, I'm stuck. And he was. Back, Thomas, back, said his driver. Thomas tried, but his wheels spun, and he couldn't move. More snow fell and piled up round him. The guard went back for help, while the driver The firemen and passengers tried to dig the snow away, but as fast as they dug, more snow slipped down until Thomas was nearly buried. "Oh, my wheels and coupling rods," said Thomas sadly. "I shall have to stop here till I'm frozen. What a silly engine I am." And Thomas began to cry. At last, a tooting in the distance told them a bus had come for the passengers. Then Terence chugged through the tunnel. He pulled the empty coaches away and came back for Thomas. Thomas's wheels were cut clear, but still spun helplessly when he tried to move. Terence tugged and slipped and tugged, and at last dragged Thomas into the tunnel. "Thank you, Terence. Your caterpillars are splendid," said Thomas gratefully. "I hope you'll be more sensible now, Thomas," said his driver. "I'll try," said Thomas, and he puffed home. Thomas and Bertie. One day, Thomas was waiting at the junction when a bus came into the yard. "Hello," said Thomas. "Who are you?" "I'm Bertie. Who are you?" "I'm Thomas. I run this line." "So you're Thomas. I remember now. You stuck in the snow and I took your passengers. Terence pulled you out. I've come to help with your passengers today." "Help me?" said Thomas crossly. "The glowing blue wouldn't ever let him off me. I can go faster than you." "You can't, and I can." "I'll race you," said Bertie. The drivers agreed, and the station master said, "Ed, are you ready? Go!" And they were off. Thomas never ever could go fast, and Bertie drew in front. Thomas was running well, but he did not hurry. "Why don't you go fast? Why don't you go fast?" called Annie and Carol anxiously. Wait and see," hissed Thomas. He's a long way ahead, they will." But Thomas didn't mind. He remembered the level crossing. There was Bertie fuming at the gates, while Thomas sailed gaily through. "Goodbye, Bertie," called Thomas. The road left the railway and went through a village. They couldn't see Bertie. They stopped at the station. "Peep, peep, peep. Quickly, please," called Thomas. Everybody got out. Quickly, the guard whistled, and off they went. Come along," sang Thomas. We're coming along," sang Annie and Carol. Hurry, panted Thomas, looking straight ahead. Then he whistled cheerily in horror for Bertie crossing the bridge over the railway, tooting triumphantly on his horn. "Oh dear me, groaned Thomas. "He's a long way in front, We yelled Annie and Clever. "Steady, Thomas," said his driver. "We'll beat Bertie yet. We'll beat Bertie yet," echoed Annie and Clever. We'll do it, panted Thomas bravely. "Oh, bother, there's the station." As he stopped, he heard it too. "Goodbye, Thomas. You must be tired." "Sorry, I can't stop. We buses have to work, you know. Goodbye." The next station was by the river. But they got there quickly, but the signal was up. "Oh dear," thought Thomas. "We've lost." But he felt better after a drink. Then James rattled through with a good train, and the signal dropped, showing the line was clear. "Hurrah, we're off! Hurrah, we're off!" puffed Thomas gaily. As he rumbled over the bridge, they heard an impatient toot, and there was Bertie waiting at the red lights while cars and lorries crossed the narrow bridge in the opposite direction. Old and Ellery ran up the valley side by side, a stream tumbling in between. Thomas had not crossed the bridge. His About he thought after and soon shot ahead. Excited passengers in train and bus cheered and shouted across the valley. Now Thomas reached his top speed. And foot by foot, yard by yard, getting into they were running level. But Artie tried hard, but Thomas was too fast. Slowly but surely, he drew ahead to whistling triumphantly. He plunged into the tunnel, not leaving but Artie toiling far behind. I've done it, panted Thomas in the tunnel. We've done it, hurrah, chanted Annie and Clarabelle, and whistled proudly. They whooshed out of the tunnel, into the last station. The passengers gave Thomas almost 3 cheers, and they told the station master and the porter all about the race. When Bertie came, they gave him 3 cheers too. Well done, Thomas, said Bertie. That was fun, but to beat you over that hill, I should have to go wings and be an aeroplane. Thomas and Bertie now keep each other very busy. Bertie finds people in the village who want to go by train and takes them to Thomas, while Thomas brings people to the station for Bertie to take home. They often talk about that race, but Bertie's passengers don't like being bounced like peas in the frying pan, and the fat controller had warned Thomas about what happens to engines who race at dangerous speeds. So although between you and me they would like to have a race, I don't think they ever will. Do you? And that was Tank Engine Thomas. And after reading it, this was a really good book. Definitely an improvement over James the Red Engine. I do like all the stories in it. I'll admit, the first story, Thomas and the God, wasn't as good as I thought it was. Mainly because of the illustrations can show me Thomas smiling and another moment where he wasn't. So, but they were good stories. How I'd rank the stories, none of them are really bad. In fact, they are all great stories. So I'd say number 4 would be Thomas Anderson because it feels the most out of place. Ace for the season. Number 3, it would be Thomas and the God because it's not as good as before. Number 2 would be Thomas and Bertie. And number 1 would be Thomas and Especially because it's actually a pretty fun story. I'd honestly rate this book a good 9.5 out of 10. And back into the collection it goes. Hopefully the wait won't be too long. I'm hoping for it to be an update as we take a look into the next installment of the Railway series, Troublesome Ending. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!